So, good morning and welcome back to Daily Transfer Update. Now, we're going to speak about a few players that we've spoken about for quite a while now. The last 3 days of the transfer window are upon us, and it is going to be a very busy 3 days. Hopefully, it's a very busy 3 days for our football club, Arsenal. It's not been very busy so far. In fact, we haven't signed a single player, which is getting kind of worrying considering our centre-backs are dropping like flies now. Yesterday, news came out about Shkodran Mustafi's injury. It's not as bad as it was first feared, and he has only got a sprain to his ankle. Now, when that happened, I thought it was maybe something to his ribs. He looked like he was down holding his ribs. It looked like a really, really nasty injury. Obviously, he collided with Emi Martinez, our goalkeeper, as he came running out of the goal. Now, it is only a sprain, which means that he's going to be back within a few weeks, I'd imagine, maybe a month. But in the meantime, we've got Callum Chambers out injured. He's out for the rest of the season. Rob Holding's just coming back and didn't really fill me with a great deal of confidence the other night when he came on. He was ball watching and sleeping for their goal against Bournemouth. And it's been a long, long season for him. He's obviously been out for a lot of it. He's come back in, didn't cover himself in glory up at Anfield when we drew 5-5 and got knocked out in penalties in the League Cup. And then the other night, again, he didn't cover himself in glory. Obviously, we've got David Luiz, we've got Socrates. They're not the greatest centre-back. So we are in the market for a centre-back, surely, Arsenal. Now, let's start with the guy you can see behind me, Matviyenko. Now, the report's going around today. This broke yesterday evening that Arsenal have Arsenal have agreed a deal in principle for Matviyenko. Now, this is coming out of the media out there in the Ukraine. And the more I'm reading about this guy, the more I'm looking at this guy, the more I think he'd be a better option than the Mari deal, which I'm going to come to very shortly. But he's 3 years younger than Pablo Mari. He's 23 years old. He's got Champions League experience. He's got international experience. He plays for Ukraine. He's been capped 26 times over the last 3 years or so. And by all accounts, he's a very good centre-back. Left-footed as well, which is what we're obviously in the market for, with Mari being a left-footed centre-back as well. But I just think, yes, this deal is a lot more expensive. The deal apparently that's agreed in principle is £4.5 million, and then £22 million as a buy, a compulsory purchase in the summer. So we shall see. We shall see what happens with that. Now, whether that is agreed or not, or whether it's his agent speaking waffle, I don't know. His agent's been banging on for a long, long time now. Over a week, his agent's been talk. So, yeah, we shall see what happens. 72 hours, well, less than 72 hours to get this deal done. So, anyway, you leave it in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about Matviyenko. Would you take Matviyenko over Mari? Leave that in the comment section. Now, let's move on to Pablo Mari. Now, so many conflicting reports about this guy. One says it's on, one says it's off. One says it was never on, and we were taking liberties by getting him out there to try and bash them into a deal, basically. Another report says it was always the plan for him to go back to Brazil. It depends who you believe. Personally, I don't think it was ever the plan to go back to Brazil. Why would you fly a player over, do a medical, and then let him go back to pre-season training at his club? That is the most backwards thing that I have ever heard. That's like us saying, okay, cool, you can have Aubameyang, who I'm going to come on to very shortly. You can fly him over, do a medical, do whatever you've got to do. Then we want him back for training until we can agree a fee. Really? Has that actually ever happened before? Because I've never heard this. I've never heard that a guy's done a medical, everything's fine, and it was in the plans to fly him back for training. The more I look at this guy, the more I read about this guy, the more I want Matviyenko. That's not to say he's a bad centre-back. By all accounts, again, he's a very good centre-back. He signed for them for £1 million from Manchester City after going on various loan spells across the world. He's a pretty good centre-back. Again, he's a left-footed centre-back. He's 26 years old, so he's 3 years older than Matviyenko, which is why I'm looking at it thinking, like, for 7-8 million quid to get this guy, when we could go and do 26 million with a loan fee, to get Matviyenko, who's 3 years younger, a potential better ceiling, more experience, played in the Champions League, capped for his country multiple times. I'm just thinking, weigh up the options. It might be better to go and get Matviyenko. Well, I'd be happy with both. I think Matviyenko would be the better option. But again, we shall see what happens. Like I said, there's so many conflicting stories coming out about this guy right now. And it's kind of funny because I've seen so many people devastated that that this may have fallen through when they didn't have a clue who he was a couple of days ago. I just find it hilarious. Like, why are you so upset by somebody you didn't know nothing about? Like, you know, we don't know if he's any good until he gets here. Let's be real. Same with Matviyenko. I won't be disappointed if we don't sign either of them, as long as we sign a centre back. But we've got less than 72 hours to get a centre back in. Can we do that, or are we going to have wasted a whole transfer window and dividend tallied and not gone down that road of getting one? Now let's move on to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now the president of Barcelona, we know they love to talk over here. We know they love to talk in Spain, and he's been asked a various amounts of questions about certain players, transfer targets, stuff like that. He's basically come out. He was asked about Rodrigo from Real Madrid. He was asked about him, which I thought was hilarious. Like, Real Madrid are going to sell him to them, especially. But he was asked about him. He said, we don't want to speak about certain players, individuals, etc., etc. He said, we are in the market. We are trying to look for a striker. So straight away, the alarm bells are ringing. Reports going around that they're still keen on getting Aubameyang in. I don't know where I sit with this. I really don't, because I've got two schools of thought with it. Do we take the money and run and go and quickly invest that somewhere else, which would leave us massively light on goals? Because again, he is unbelievable in the box. He scores goals for fun. Or do we let him go down to the last 6 months of his or last year of his contract? Sorry, when it gets to the summer, what do we do? Because at the moment he holds the cards. Do I think he's going to leave this window? I don't think he will. I genuinely don't think he's leaving. Is he having his head swayed by all the talk? Possibly. But one thing I do know is he hasn't signed a new contract, and it's all well and good putting it in the program notes that you love the club, you're the captain of the club, you love being in London. It's all rubbish. You're getting sick and tired of hearing, etc., etc. Pen the contract, mate. Pen the deal. Because the longer you're leaving this, the more rumours are going to come out, the more stories are going to come out. And I've seen this so many times with Arsenal over the years. Robin van Persie is one of them. You know, other players along the way. Aaron Ramsey. You know, Aaron Ramsey, as much as people loved him and thought he was fantastic and this and that, he still played the game. And he was still coy on what he was, whether he was leaving or not, or whether he was staying. He kept it all the way down to the last knock-ins, and then said, "Yeah, boom, I'm going to Juventus." And he ain't really lit it up in Juventus. He's played about 11 league games, I think, and got 1 goal this season. So yes, they're top of the league. He's on course for a title, but they've got Inter Milan hot on their tail, and they're only 3 points behind them. So listen, it don't always work out when you leave. But at the same time, Barcelona is a massive proposition, and it'd be very hard for Aubameyang to turn that down. But I just don't want us to get into another situation where the player holds every single card. The club needs to sort this deal out with him and say, listen, sign the deal or we're going to have to sell you, mate. And as hard as that may be, unfortunately, it has to be done. So listen, I don't think he will leave. Barcelona love to talk. We know that. But leave it in the comments section. What do we do with Aubameyang? I don't really know. I don't want to sell him. I don't want him to go. But at the same time, we're not in the strongest of positions. Now, let's move on to Mr. Lamar. Right about now, I'm 50-50. If you know, you know. But the latest one coming out from the Lamar camp is that Bayern Munich are interested in him. Now, I don't particularly rate him as highly as some other people. I think he's a very good player, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I would take him. I genuinely would take him. £33 million for me is an absolute bargain. In today's market, for a player who's so young still, he's played at Atletico Madrid. By all accounts, it ain't going great for him. He's only scored 3 or 4 goals in 60-odd appearances. It's not been the fantastic dream move that he thought it was going to be. Bayern Munich, listen, they don't tend to buy duds often, let's be real. They're in for him. Are they going to swoop and get him? I don't know. Are we going to get him? That remains to be seen. But the one thing I do know is that if we put him on our left wing, I've said this many, many times, if we put him on the left wing of our midfield, he's left-footed on the left wing, that gives us better balance than playing a striker in Martinelli on the left wing, or a top striker in Aubameyang on the left wing. For me, this is a no-brainer. Go and get the deal done. Go and get it done. Put him in the team. Put Aubameyang up front. Maybe sell Lacazette. Maybe sweeten the deal by giving Lacazette to them, a little bit of cash for us and Thomas Lamar. I don't know. I don't know whether that will happen now or in the summer. He might even stay at Atletico. All I do know is we better hurry up because time's ticking. Don't forget, I will be doing a massive marathon deadline day stream. I'll be doing a few actually. I'm going to do the daily transfer update as normal the morning of the deadline day. I'll then do a live stream in the afternoon, early afternoon, maybe a couple of hours stream on that one. And then in the evening, I'll be doing at least 3 hours straight until the window closes. It won't just be exclusive to Arsenal. It'll be for everybody. So come check that out. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and share. And really, really appreciate all the support recently. It's been absolutely nuts on this channel. So keep supporting, keep liking, keep sharing, then go and follow my Facebook as well. I'd really, really appreciate that. The link for that and Insta is in the description. So until 5 p.m, I'm out of here. Later, peeps.